I was looking at my Nintendo Switch the other day, just sitting there in the dock, and it kind of hit me.
Oh, yeah.
We always talk about this thing as the ultimate portable console, right? The thing you take on a plane.
Sure, that's its main hook.
But if you actually look at hardware's DNA, I mean, the detachable controllers, the kickstand, it's arguably the only machine on the market that was explicitly built for human connection.
That's a really fair point. I think we're so used to multiplayer, meaning, putting on a headset and getting yelled at by a stranger online.
Exactly.
The Switch is kind of holding down the fort for the old guard. It's the last bastion of what we call couch co-op.
Which is such a specific vibe. It's not just playing a game, it's the energy of being shoulder to shoulder, sharing a bowl of popcorn, and, physically elbowing the person next to you.
Or when they throw you off a cliff.
Or when they throw you off the cliff, yes. And that is basically the mission for today's deep dive. We have combed through a massive stack of reviews and forums to find the absolute best titles for local play on the Switch.
But, and this is key, we aren't just giving you a list of top 10 games. We're trying to find the perfect match for your specific social situation.
Right, because context is everything. Playing with a college roommate is totally different from playing with your pets.
Or your 6-year-old niece, yeah. We want to help you avoid that nightmare where you spend $60 on a game for date night, you boot it up, and 20 minutes later you're sleeping in separate rooms.
High-stakes gaming.
Very high stakes. But the philosophy here is worth it. One of our sources put it perfectly. Local multiplayer makes ass-kicking games much more approachable.
I love that note. Because if I'm dying over and over again by myself, I just get frustrated. It's me versus a machine that hates me.
But if your friend is there, they can respawn you. Or at the very least, they can laugh with you, as the source put it. It sure beats dying alone.
Words to live by. So here's the roadmap. We've broken this down into 4 categories.
Yeah.
First, we're diving into the chaos games that test your relationships with physics. Then we have building together for the nesters.
Yeah.
After that, a really important segment on accessible play for when there's a big skill gap between players.
Okay.
And we'll wrap it all up with sinking brains for the puzzle heads out there.
Sounds like a gauntlet. Where are we starting?
We have to start with chaos.
Yeah.
And honestly, looking at the research, there's one game that seems to be the undisputed king of ruining friendships right now. Bread and Fred.
Ah, yes. The penguins. This is such a fascinating case study in game design.
For anyone who hasn't seen the clips of this all over social media, what are we actually dealing with here?
Well, on the surface, it just looks like a cute pixel art platformer. You're jumping up a mountain. But the twist is that you and your partner are 2 penguins literally tethered together by a short rope.
Literally tethered, so you're physically attached.
You are.
Yeah.
And the physics engine treats that rope seriously. So if I jump, I pull you. If I fall, I drag you down with me. Every single movement becomes a negotiation.
It sounds like a 3-legged race, but vertical and on ice.
That is a terrifyingly accurate description. The sources all highlight that this game went viral because it's hilarious, but that humor comes from a very specific place.
Failure.
Total failure. You have to work together to time every jump.
The notes mention a mechanic where you actually have to swing your partner.
Yes. So to cross a wide gap, one penguin has to anchor themselves, the other one jumps off the ledge, and you swing them like a pendulum to build momentum.
Hello now.
And then you release at the exact perfect microsecond. Then, once they land, they have to anchor and catch you.
And I'm guessing that rarely goes to plan.
It almost never works. Someone always counts 3, 2, 1, go, and the other person jumps on 1, and you both just plummet all the way to the bottom.
But here's what I found interesting. The reviews say that this failure is actually better than winning. Why is that?
It's all about the shared narrative, right? If you just breeze through, you'd forget it. But falling down the whole mountain because your partner got distracted, that's a story. The experience is about failing spectacularly.
It's a relationship stress test, disguised as a cute game. Okay, so what if we want to direct that chaos outward? Instead of hurting each other, we want to team up to hurt the world.
Then you pivot to Untitled Goose Game.
A modern classic. You play as horrible geese.
Horrible geese. And while most people know the single player, the 2-player mode completely changes the dynamic. It goes from a puzzle game to like a heist movie.
A poultry heist movie.
Exactly. The goal is still to terrorize the townspeople, steal their keys, honk at them, ruin their picnic. But with 2 geese, you can actually strategize.
Give me an example of a goose strat.
Okay, so there's a task where you need to steal the keys from the gardener's belt. In single player, it takes a lot of sneaking around. In co-op, One goose can just run up and honk in his face.
The distraction.
The distraction, yeah. While the second goose sneaks up behind and just yanks the keys. It's teamwork. It's communal chaos.
Sticking with that theme. Good job. I feel like this one flew under the radar a bit, but the premise is just gold.
It really is. The premise is you're the bumbling child of a CDO and you've been brought in to help with office tasks.
Help in very big air quotes.
Right. So your goal might be get the projector to the conference room. A normal person would put it on a cart.
Boring.
And good job.
Mm-hmm.
The physics are just wild and everything is destructible. So you find the door is locked, but the wall is, glass. So you and your partner build a giant slingshot out of power cords and just launch the projector straight through the wall.
And the game rewards that.
It flashes. Task complete. It does not care that you just cost $50,000 in damages. All these games, Bread and Fred, Goose Game, good job, they're about shared laughter. You aren't trying to win, you're just poking the physics to see what happens.
Okay, let's dial it back a bit. The listener has had enough chaos. Their blood pressure is through the roof. They want a nest. To build something. This takes us to segment 2, building together.
Right. This is for the couples or the roommates who want a shared project. And the undisputed titan of this genre is Stardew Valley.
The game that launched 1,000 cozy setups. You're running a farm. Pretty simple. But I think people forget that the multiplayer isn't just plug and play.
That is such a crucial detail from the Norts.
Yeah.
You can't just jump into a single-player save file and have a second player pop in. You really have to build an extra cabin on your farm first.
So there's a housing crisis, even in Stardew Valley.
Even in Stardew. But once you're in, the loop creates this incredible rhythm. It's all about dividing the labor.
How does that usually play out?
Well, the in-game days are pretty short. In single player, you're rushing around. In co-op, one person can say, okay, I'm on watering duty today, while the other says, cool, I'm going to spend the whole day fishing for cash.
You're literally building a shared economy.
You are, and a shared space. Where should we put the new barn? Becomes a real conversation you have to have. It simulates domestic life without the dirty dishes.
Now, what if you like that management loop, but find Stardew a little too wholesome?
Then you join the cult of the lamb.
But I love this pivot. From growing pumpkins to growing a satanic cult.
It's a slightly darker take on management, yeah. You're a possessed lamb building a religion. You feed your followers. You build shrines.
And you handle the occasional sacrifice.
Unnecessary evil. The big news here is that an update finally brought local co-op to the Switch version.
So who is player 2? Another lamb.
No, player 2 plays as the goat.
The big goat, of course.
Of course. It's seamless drop-in co-op. You can fight through dungeons together. But the source material has a very specific warning for whoever plays the goat.
Which is?
Just try not to be the sacrificial one.
Good advice for life, really. Okay, one more in this category, but it strikes a completely different emotional chord. Spiritfarer.
Oh, this game is just beautiful. It's a cozy management game about dying. You play as Stella, a fairy master for the deceased. You find spirits, care for them on your boat, and help them find closure before you say goodbye.
It's a real tearjerker. How does the co-op even work in a game that's so narrative-driven?
This is where our expert insight is critical. Player 1 is Stella. Player 2 plays as her cat, Daffodil.
Daffodil.
Daffodil, the cat. Now listen, this is really important. The cat is useful. It can help chop wood, cook food, do all the management stuff. But, and this is a huge but, the cat cannot talk to the other characters.
So player 2 can't drive the story forward.
At all. If the cat walks up to a spirit, nothing happens. So if you're playing with someone who wants to be in charge of the story, do not make them be the cat. They will get bored. But
on the flip side, if you're playing with someone who just wants to vibe and smash some rocks while you do the reading,
then being the cat is the perfect role. It's low-pressure participation.
That actually leads perfectly into our next category, accessible play. Because, let's be honest, the biggest hurdle for couch co-op is often the skill gap.
Exactly. You've got one person who plays games 20 hours a week and another whose last console was a Nintendo 64. You can't just throw them into a competitive game.
You need a bridge. And the sources point to a Nintendo heavyweight here, Pikmin 4.
Right, but it's a bit of a controversial one. Pikmin 4's co-op is very different from Pikmin 3.
How so?
Well, in the older games, you often had 2 full characters. You could split up your army of Pikmin, you go get the fruit, I'll fight the bug.
True co-op.
Right. In Pikmin 4, player 1 controls the main character and the army. Player 2 controls a reticle. Just a cursor on the screen.
Ah, the classic little brother mode.
Basically. Player 2 can throw pebbles to stun enemies. The sources call it underwhelming for too experienced adults. But it's cited as the perfect mode for a parent playing with a young child. The kid can help, they feel involved, but they can't actually fail the mission. It's brilliant for that specific context.
That's a feature, not a bug. Okay, so if you want something where player 2 actually has a body, the sources rave about Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Perfectly chill and incredibly adorable. That's the quote that kept coming up.
This is the one that gave us mouthful mode.
An incredible mechanic. Kirby inhales a car and just becomes the car. He inhales a vending machine and shoots soda cans.
It's just delightful.
Yeah.
How does the co-op partner fit in?
Player 2 is Bandana Waddle Dee. He has a little spear, he can fight, he can float, he can revive Kirby, and when Kirby turns into a car, Waddle Dee just hops on the back for the ride.
So again, it lets the less experienced player feel like a hero without needing super precise skill.
Exactly. And speaking of accessible, we have to mention the Lego games.
The ultimate comfort food of gaming.
Totally. The research highlighted 2, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, and the newer Lego Horizon Adventures.
Horizon is interesting. That's a Sony IP and a Nintendo console.
It is, yeah. It provides that super satisfying Lego-y ASMR of smashing bricks and collecting studs. But the real magic of all Lego games is the drop-in, drop-out mechanic.
It's the gold standard for low-stress play.
It is. There's no game over. If your character dies, you just explode into bricks, lose a few coins, and respawn 2 seconds later.
It completely removes the punishment for failure.
Which makes something like the Skywalker Saga incredible for families. You've got 9 movies worth of content, hundreds of characters, and 0 consequences. You just run around and smash stuff.
All right, we've done chill, we've done chaos. Now I want a mental workout. Let's talk about sinking brains.
The puzzle games. And we have to start with an absolute masterpiece. Portal 2, which is in the Portal. Companion Collection.
Quick refresher, you have a gun that shoots 2 portals, go in one, come out the other, physics happens.
Right. But here's the co-op bonus that the sources all emphasize. In single player, you manage 2 portals. In co-op, you have 4. 2 for you, 2 for your partner.
That doesn't just double the difficulty, that's like an exponential increase in complexity.
It completely breaks your brain in a good way. You have to talk through every step. Okay, I'm putting my blue portal on the ceiling, you put your orange one on the floor, I'll jump through yours to gain speed.
You have to communicate that entire sentence before anyone moves a muscle.
You cannot brute force it. You have to sync your mental models of the room. When you finally pull it off, you feel like absolute geniuses.
And if Portal is about physics, this next one is about peer pressure. Escape Academy.
This is literally a virtual escape room. But the stakes are, as one source put it, legitimately perilous.
Give me a scenario from the notes.
Okay, so you're in a tower that is rapidly filling with water from the bottom. You have to solve logic puzzles to open doors to get to the next floor before you drown.
While the water is actively rising.
Yes. And the puzzles are split. I might see a code on my screen that opens a lock on your screen. If we don't communicate, we both drown.
Silence is death.
Silence is death. It forces you to talk.
Okay, for a different kind of sing-sing. Crypt of the Necrodancer. What a wild genre blend.
It's a rhythm roguelike. So you're exploring a dungeon, but you have to move and attack to the beat of the soundtrack.
Like step, step, step attack.
Exactly. If you miss the beat, you stumble. Now, throw in a second player. The sources suggest that having a friend should make it easier, but it often doesn't.
Why not?
Because you both still have to stay on beat. If my rhythm is perfect but yours is off, we get out of sync and walk into enemies. It requires 2 brains to lock into one single groove.
I want to touch on 2 quick strategy games. First, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Mario with guns, basically.
It's fantastic, but I have a huge buyer beware warning here from the expert notes.
Lay it on us.
The co-op is limited. You cannot play the main story campaign together. Co-op is only for a separate mode with specific challenge maps.
That is a critical distinction. Don't buy it thinking you're going to play the whole 40-hour story together.
Exactly. It's a fun side dish, but it's not the main course.
And finally, for the RPG lovers who want something weird, Nobody Saves the World.
I love this game's twist. You play as a blank slate character named Nobody, and the whole point is unlocking different forms. You can be a turtle, a ghost, a knight, a bodybuilder.
And in co-op?
The forms synergize. This is where it gets crazy. I could be the horse, which is fast. You could be the archer, and you can literally ride on my back while I gallop around and you shoot arrows.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. You mix and match abilities to create these absurd combos. It's all about experimenting. What happens if a zombie and a mermaid team up? It's that joy of discovery.
So we have covered a massive spectrum here. from being tethered penguins in Bread and Fred to being a spooky goo clone in Luigi's Mansion 3.
We barely even touched on Luigi.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at this whole list, whether you're stress testing your communication with Overcooked or just chilling out with Lego, there is a common thread.
What's the big takeaway?
I think we tend to see video games as escapism, a way to tune out the world. But couch co-op suggests they're actually one of the most effective tools we have for what I'd call simulated cooperation.
Simulate cooperation. Unpack that a little.
Well, think about it. Companies do these corporate retreats with trust falls to build teamwork. It's kind of silly.
It's very silly.
But if you can successfully coordinate a farm in Stardew Valley without arguing over money, or if you can survive that flooding tower in Escape Academy without screaming at each other, that's real data.
That is a provocative thought. Maybe the ultimate premarital counseling isn't a therapist. Maybe it's just beating the co-op campaign in Portal 2.
It's definitely a cheaper option, and probably a more rigorous test.
Well, on that note, we'd encourage you to grab a controller, grab a friend, or a partner, or a roommate, and pick a game.
And just see if you survive.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.